So hello everyone and welcome to today's devoted mastermind. So beautiful. Connecting with you here in our field, in our space, and welcome so much Charlotte into our field and devoted mastermind next. Yeah, okay. So how are you all doing? Are you doing good? Yeah, because we are going to dive even deeper into our identity work because it is so important. It is really, really so important. But just allow us first to drop deeper into our heart field and heart space and also into our greater field. So just close your eyes and take some moment, take a few deep breaths. Yeah, beautiful. And just breathe and connect and breathe and connect. And just allow everything to be just as it is in this moment. Letting go, inviting the fullness of you into this eternal now moment. And just allowing. As we know, we are in this deep, deep quantum field of divine love, held, embraced, loved, overlighted by divine, beloved Mother, Father God. And our full multidimensional self, our star ancestors, our soul groups, soul lineages, our ancestral lineages, our divine teams. And as we all connect or reconnect with this field, this divine quantum field, and allowing, dropping deeper into the heart field, the heart space. So beautiful. Okay, so when you can just open your eyes. Just take a moment, settle in everything to come into alignment. So how has this work been for you so far? So I want you can be a little bit active. You can write in the chat, and I will share a bit more because we are deepening the work. And then I will open up for some sharings or Q&As in the end of this session. And so everyone, we have our Facebook group where we have where we meet and share our journey to be witnessed. And there you can ask questions. I believe I will open like a Q&A thread also, so we can have like a Q&A thread that is always open if you have questions and how deepening and stuff like to really pick up. Sometimes we forget, we have some question and we forget it, not posting it. And also that very beautiful to seeing all of your sharings. It's been really be very touched of receiving and bringing everything in that you have shared. Very, very beautiful. And then, we have our new Telegram chat. It's a new service for you all that is open twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, where I will be online, where you can ask questions and get direct supported with whatever question you have. It could be what we are working on here. It could be something, it could be anything. It could be in your business, you're launching, your, whatever you have. And it's open 9 to 4-ish. And also to come in there those days if you if you do have questions and want to receive answers. I'm not picking up all, like if you drop a question some other day, I'm not going back and just answer them. I want you to come in there. It's like active. You can drop your questions, but I want you to be there to receive the answers. Yeah, because otherwise you can share in our group and if things, because it's really like in the moment work where we work, and you can receive and you can deepen, and then you can come back. Maybe you have another questions. Maybe you've seen in the thread how me and Lynn worked last week. It was very beautiful, and how much really can happen and expand in a little short time. So this is support to you to really be on the path, like in the process all the time, with all the different things or the different domains or the different areas. I mean, it's the life, our whole life that is there, and also how to really weave it together so we don't separate or get disconnected. So it's really a way also to support you to get going and to get things out and to really maybe release something very quickly from your fields and not really need to go and then drop off and on and off and on, to really be in the process. So this is new, so we will see what, and I'm there for you. And sometimes I can have like another call or doing something else. I not maybe answer on the minute, but like within an hour I will be there for you. Yeah, so you know that. So that's beautiful. And then also I was posted yesterday, or was it today, that there will be in June like a VIP day, one day in person experience at Heart of the North Sanctuary, where you all have, it's like a bonus day, and you all have like qualified or whatever you say to that in different ways through this program, to North, or to be like another, like painful for devoted, or if it was MMM or something. So that's like, so I drop it here, and then it's also going to go out to a few others that is not in this field that also are invited to that day. So you're very welcome. It will come more information to you. Yeah, and a short I will post it. I recorded actually a video when I was at Heart of the North, but it's not so good internet all around it. So it was, but it's, you will see amazing, amazing energies that is working there. So you really can get another sense of what is happening. So more of that to come. Okay. Yeah, okay. So just take a short to see. Yeah, the work has been interesting. Yeah, what happens? Yes, of course. Everything is in your DNAs. Everything that has happened in your lineage is in your DNAs. And also how you are like living or weaving through your DNAs is also how you have created different identities. Because I found that so much we have, like we see patterns and we heal them. We want to heal them. We want to transform. But we have not really deepened into the identity that we created. We have created a lot, as I shared. So, and if we don't let go of that identity or in make it invalid, I will talk about this today, you will still carry that identity. And doing this, try to do this new work, but you don't get the results that you want because you're actually anchored in an old identity. So there's so many levels. We are talking now both like a mindset, we are talking about the soul level, we are talking beyond the soul level, and we are talking about like the mental body, the emotional body, the soul body, the heart body, like all the bodies to come together. So it's very, very beautiful. And this is a work that we might believe is just psychological, and it's not. So it's really, so now I'm going to guide you even deeper and beyond a bit, because I've seen, yeah, we'll talk about that. So just say it's interesting and deep. Yeah, it is deep if you take it deep. Okay, it's been interesting and deep. It's been interesting and deep. It's been interesting and deep. Yeah. So, okay. It's been really beautiful, don't you agree, to really receive everyone's story. We know that there are stories that we have created also through our identities. We know it's stories and things that has happened, and how we are seeing them, viewing them, valuing them is also from the eyes of our identities. So it's been, yeah, don't you see? Don't you feel that too? To really bring in everyone's, not just the humanness, the humans that are here, but also the lineages, the ancestral lineages, those stories to come. And so when we share our stories, I don't know if you have, like received your own story, if you know what I'm meaning by that. Because when we share our stories, this is the lives of our ancestors. This is the lives of our parents, of our grandparents, and way beyond. So to tell a good story, to really share the story, is also to care about the story, to really see it, see through the eyes of your mother, of your grandmother, of your grandfather, and care about these people, care about the story itself, not separate it and, just make a summary, but really bringing in, because these stories are you. You're carrying these stories within your DNA, within your body, within your system. And how you view them is also how you care about them. And this might be for many like a breakthrough, like a first breakthrough, not only to get like summarize the stories of the magic, the miracle that we are actually here in this, not only the soul agreement that said yes, but the miracle for this actually to happen. And many of you have really, put up these so many different events that if this did not happen, I would not be here in this body, in this life, with these experiences. So for many, the first breakthrough, really breakthrough, and we can believe or think that we really have worked with our history and these stories. But ask yourself, how much do you really care about both your story? This is like the gold. This is like the gifts, the treasure, and to feel them. It's your family, your earth family, that is as important as your soul family or star family or God. So for many, you also say that to become really successful is to become a great storyteller. Many share about that. And to be a good storyteller, and this is not, just make fun of something, to really share the story is about caring about the story. And if we don't really care about our life, we don't care about our story either, our history, our family, our ancestors. Can you see how that is really going parallel? Yeah. So it's not only to summarize what has happened and see the patterns, it's also to really dive into, because all of this you are carrying. I mean, we've been told so much to let go of the stories, right? Yeah, but also to care about them. I mean, that's been, about the shift and transformation. Now we're talking very much about soul evolution and to evolve as humans or divine humans, and to really, bring together and merge the divine self and the human self. It's very much about this identity work. We've done a lot of, soul work and spiritual work. So now we do very human work for everything to merge. I just see it's so beautiful. So when we really bring in these stories, bringing in our families, our ancestors, we are also experiencing ourselves. So it's not so much about, I mean, it can, of course, it's rises a lot of feelings, but really to care about, to bring it into your heart. We can talk about it like separated from ourselves, but really to bring it into our hearts. And so much is about what we decide, how we see ourselves, and how we see the truth about ourselves. And I don't know about you, but in experience so much, or the what do you say, that when we are, dive deep in, it can be personal development, or it could be like spiritual work, or it could be like soul work or embodiment. So many are there from the view and the belief that there's something wrong, that they don't feel good enough, that they don't feel that they matter, that they are worthy or valuable. And so much like coming into courses and programs and places and events and circles and want that to be fixed. I don't know if you relate to this, but this is like also about your identity, how you like coming into things. So if you're here, or if you're somewhere else or has been, if it's like really to fix yourself, or getting better, like how are you working on yourself? What are you bringing in? From what view, from what identity are you entering this room or another room? This you can really take with you wherever you go. How are you bringing in yourself into that room? Because that is also a part of your identity. If you like coming up in with the feeling of like I don't belong, or everyone is better, or yeah. So from where are you coming in here? Bring this question with you, and in every room you are going into. Are you going in to be experiencing something new, or wanted to be better, or be fixed, or finding something? Or are you here because you're like working on your life? I could really feel and see also the shift in identity for me when I'm looking back on my life. At first I went into, as I shared in the story, that I didn't matter. I went into to things, to courses, programs, events, coaching, mentors, and also my life, and also starting to really share and give by being validated, have validation, and also to really be validated by someone on the outside that I am enough, I am good, to really bring that in. And then it was like shifting, that I dropped that. Not, we can know things here, but not really embodied. That's like a gap. It's not the inner knowing. It's a belief. When it's just here in the mental body, the mental state, it's like a belief. Like we say we know that we are really valuable or worthy or something, but it's only here, so it's not dropped into like embodiment and the really knowing from the soul level. So what is really streaming out is something else. So when I shifted that, really, because I wasn't really embodied fully, but I wanted to investigate, like becoming curious, becoming open. I mean, I'm so curious. I want to know. I want to learn. I was a truth seeker. So what's the truth? What's the truth within me? What's the truth in the world? What's the truth in, all dimensions? What's truth? Truth is love. Love is truth. But where is it? How am I embodying truth? I mean, it's only one truth, but then in different levels, there are many truths. So I was really in, because I was working on my whole life. And when I met someone like a mentor, a coach, or someone that's holding like these courses, programs, I was like relating to the one on the stage or the teacher, not because he or she was the one, you know, the teacher that knows something, but it was more like the journey that he or she had done. That I was here because there was someone in the room that has done the work. So, you know, when we're starting in the back seat in the room, maybe in the back row, I don't know about you if you have been in the back row or if you've been in the front row. And it could be from when you were in school. And when we sit in the front row, we, you know, raise our hands because we also want to be seen and be validated by the teacher to see us, how good we were. You know, this good girl syndrome. But also to see that person that was holding this field, these spaces, that has done the work or not done the work, you know, that also came up. So it started in the back seat or in the back rows, and I worked myself into be in front. So from one to being in the room to one to leading or holding the space in the room. And I know that you are that one that is holding the space and leading in the room as well. But it was not so much about finding out how someone or that one could make me great. It was not about having someone else to make me be great, feeling validated, feeling valued, feeling worthy, get that, you know, confirmation. So it was more about opening up more within me and get these new views and realizations. And it doesn't matter if that teacher or that mentor or that person, sister, brother, were in form or in non-form. It's like also the same with illuminated beings. I don't know how you communicate because we are sisters and brothers, right? And I know they have like evolved as well. So how we are really entering the room, so you can see that wherever you are in your life, it could be home with your family, with your kids, with your sister, friends, when you're holding your courses, your events, your circles, your retreats, or when you are in programs, that what is your identity? Because how are you like bringing yourself into the room? And I know that you are here also. You are here because you know that you all are worthy. You know that. And you are here because you believe in yourself. You wouldn't be here if you didn't think that you couldn't change anything. So to be here in this now, in Devoted Mastermind Next, the story, how you have become great, is what you have been now and diving into your identity work. And if you bring in that you already change your life because you are really worthy in all levels, and really saying, this is who I am, not this is who I believe I am or want to be, like this is who I am. Yeah, beautiful. To really see the sharings you do, from what eyes it comes when you share about yourself and really what you're telling yourself, who you are and from what eyes? So this work is not so much about who you are becoming. That work can really start when you have done this work. It's about really investigate all of these identities that we have been creating. And also all of these identities that we are still are validating. I mean, we're bringing in here, of course, who do you want to be? Because that is important. Who you are. You are not your history, right? You're not your past identities, right? You are not who you believed you are. So it's like the beginning of making up the greatest story of who we possibly can be. What can happen? Who do we want to be? Who are we? Who are we destined to be? Like the pathfinder of the world, the trailblazers of the world is you, is us here. And also the why and how we show up to ourselves. You know, the identity we have created. And how we're showing up, like identity we have, what we want to become or who we know we are, that the match and how we're showing up to ourselves. Say how we're showing up to ourselves, but how we really are showing up to ourselves. It can make another twist. How we're showing up to ourselves when we're really diving deeper into this identity work. Don't you see that? You know, if we just, going in the same patterns, the same path, we are creating it from an old identity, right? I know that some of you share that as well. So when you enter a room, it's like you're showing up for yourself. You're showing when you're here in this program, when we meet here, like not only come when we meet here because it's like 24/7, but this is also how you show up to yourself to be a match with who you are. Even though we had a tough week, a tough day, something happened, you lower in energy and your frequency, whatever it is. Because coming here is also the making of you, and you bring everything here, everything into this field, into this space, where you can really watch the change, watch the evolution, and to make that match is what and who you decide to be when you enter a room, when you wake up in the morning, when you go out in the shop, in the store. It's like everywhere, not to become one, to be special here. It's not about that. It's really about opening an investigation of who you are, to see, to allow yourself the truth, to allow yourself to see who you really are. And what we see when we're diving into this identity work, and what we have viewed the world, it's not about being right or wrong, good or bad. It's nothing about that. This is just facts. This is just how it is. So it's nothing is more valued than the other. It's not that, oh, I was bad because I created this identity and look what it took me. Look what happened when I look through these eyes with a belief that was not true. But all my life, I saw everything through that lens, that this was true. That was my identity. My identity was that was my knowing. This was truth. This was my truth. And I saw the whole world about that. So all of us that has been carrying or are carrying like father wounds, or wounds towards, the masculine or mother wounds, you can see how that has shaped us to taking on that identity. And when we look at ourselves, we're diving deeper and going back here, we see that we are not perfect. We are not going to be perfect. We are not perfect. I mean, we are perfect in our imperfection. It just is. And no one requires us to be perfect. I mean, to have that control because I need to be this, I need to be that, that's also from an identity. So when we dive deeper into this work, this is the magic, this is the beauty, is that we will detach from the outcome. We will detach from the outcome. So we really are like diving deeper into the thoughts, the feelings. So there have been so much, really, coming through these identities. I'm not good enough. I'm not special enough. But it's not true. It's your identity. You have created that. And how has life been through that? I mean, like, I don't matter. I don't have a place here. And how we have created our lives through these identities. And some people get very addicted to their identities. So not allowing ourselves to see this, to really deepen into, so the events that you have seen in your stories, that in your stories what had happened, the events with your upbringing when you were a child, what happened to you, and to really allow yourself to say, okay, so what truth, like identity, did I create at that time? And by living a life through that identity, to see that what we were creating and what we really, I mean, we say, that if we have not healed something, it turns coming back and coming back and coming back. But maybe it is this old identity that is playing out and playing out and playing out. So this piece is very, very important. And if we can have the view on this, like really diving deep to become mature in the way we are viewing it, in the way we are seeing it, and in the way we have really shaped our lives through our identities. That so many things, you can look at yourself, how it was that you have shared, that everyone shared here, about how it was when you were growing up with your maybe parents or mother or father, and that we, took over things from our parents. We picked it up and we didn't have any experience of anything else. So we didn't know. We didn't know how life was from someone that has another experience, right? I know this might sound like simple, but I want to really bring it down to bring clarity also. So if we come in with this knowing, like, or maybe this identity, because this what we know all about. To have maybe parents that didn't have any money, or that was arguing about money, or was really struggling to have a great living. We didn't know how it was to live with overflow money. We didn't know how it was by living in overflow, in abundance, in not only we could have abundance maybe in love, but maybe and also took on these beliefs that you need to work hard for the money or whatever it is. But what we have forgotten is that we were just trying it out. I mean, that was our surrounding, and we were just trying it out. What was possible? What was possible? And then it really internalized into something else. So I really want to invite you. This is like the invitation to you to question things a bit. Like, we are now here and say, like, let's redefine ourselves. And if we see that the identity is not, like good or bad, or about these woundings, or, things that we were trying to live through that lens. We were trying it out. So we can, like opening it a bit. We can opening a bit to really want to say, okay, so what do we want to try out now? As we don't know. It's like, so I say, it's not like if we say only work from, I want to become that, I want to be that. And we forget all about this. So if we could see, like, okay, if different identities was like experiencing different ways of lives, a way we can live our lives. See, it becomes something else. Can you see that? Can you feel that? Yeah. So it's not that I become this one or I was this one. The truths are really like opening up. If we see that we created this, we put it on ourselves, and we were trying. And now we have the capacity and the ability to really opening up to try new, because we do not know. This is, we do not know. This is making me very amazed of this. We do not know. If we do know, we're really clinging on to something I know. That's an identity as well. It's just as another identity. So how, to explore from different, from an openness. Yeah, we forget. It's just like trying it out. It has been false security to hold on to, yes. And we know who we are. And we also know, who we are, right? And maybe we don't know who we want to become. Maybe we just think we know, because that is created also from an identity. Yes, you see, I'm going to twist things around a bit, because we're working a lot. And you see, and then on the other course, we're working with, I know who I am and why I'm here to get service. So, but it's so many dimensions all the time. So don't get confused, just stay in what is. Because we don't really know. Maybe that's created from an identity. If we have an identity of, I'm not good enough, I want to become good enough, or maybe the best. Is that you? Is that true? Or is that just another identity? I just find this very exciting and very multi-layered, because so many things, just, when I've been working with this in deep, so many things that, from our worldview, is also like right and wrong. We're still in the polarity and the duality. And we want to have people around us that validate our view of life, view of the world, view of spirituality, view of love, right? And we want it to be our identity to be validated. And sometimes someone else is seeing the world differently, and we get triggered, or behave in another way and we get triggered. And most of the time, there's like a crash between different identities. And when you're still in the polarity, you know, the duality or right or wrong. No, I don't like them. They have this belief and that's wrong. I know what's truth. So we become this power game of right and wrong, truth and non-truth. But what is truth for you is the non-truth for them. And what is truth for them is like a non-truth for you. So we disconnect. But maybe we don't know about their upbringings. We don't know from where these identities come. So it's all about identities. Isn't it interesting? I just found it so interesting. Is it possible to have an identity that is in not in polarity, that is in non-duality? What do you think? What do you believe? That's about to explore. If we can maybe see it from one identity, they might be a yes. And if we see it from another, they might be a no. So this, you see, isn't, yeah, I think it's really, so we are, if we're opening up and opening, we need to deepen into and really bringing the maturity in. This is kind of advanced, right? Yeah, if we're really deepening in the deeper level, we see it's advanced. It sounds easy, but it's advanced to really bring it in. We can hear it now, but to really bring it in, and that's the work that we're doing here. Okay. So, and so if you're looking at your history, your story, what do you see? What did it take you to be who you are or who you think you are? And as I said, there's nothing wrong with our identities or our beliefs or how we have chosen to live our lives, because it's active choices, it's decisions we are making. But to have a clarity and have an understanding from where these decisions came. So this is really an opportunity for you to lift it higher to another, as I said, it's kind of advanced, but in a mature way. So if we was living our lives or first lives in a feeling that we are not worthy, we're not good enough, we don't matter. And as I said, we have never met someone that was in total harmony. Have you met anyone that is in total harmony? Or did you do that? Did you see that when you were a teenager, or maybe when you were, that really loved themselves fully? And what did you see? And what was really rising within you when you saw that, if you saw that? So when you're diving into your identities that you created, that you actively created, conscious or non-conscious, you know, from when you were a little. And we look at, as we say, see now, okay, my life, I looked from the filter that I didn't matter, as I shared in the last, I didn't matter, so everything. And I like a swamp, you know, brought everything I saw was from that lens, from that filter. But what if we borrowed like the identity of someone that know their value really when they were born and didn't forget it? What if we borrow that identity? So I'd say maybe the aim here is not about just releasing identities to know identity. I really want to invite you into a more multifaceted life, like a world, like an experience Not like, oh, now I release this identity, now I release, because that's also an identity that we believe that we need to release everything so we can become whole or become good. So it's not only about releasing identities. You say, oh, now I see, because that's like, can be like woundings or stuff. So that's not the work. Of course, we are evolving into another identity, but what if you can, or if you were in harmony, those of you that really were had upbringings in harmony, how would you, we don't know, we can never know, but what if we borrowed that identity that was on the other, the polarity? How could that have been? We will never know, but just to expand our views in life, of life. If I had an identity that it's safe for me to hide, how if I borrowed someone that's that it's safe to me to be seen? It's also, like a construction like we create, but that's, yeah, it is. But I think this part is missed when we also evolve in consciousness, because many times when we evolve in consciousness and we work spirituality, we work in the energetic fields and in the love fields and not really in the human field. So this is really bringing in so we can merge the divine human as we have, because how I see it now, and this could change. I just love this. And those of you that have walked with me many years, I change. What I say and teach is changed. What was truth then, it doesn't know that it's non-truth, but it's like expanded into new things as the evolution, and I evolved. So I cannot say that this is truth before we're really in the absolute truth, right? But I believe that this is really missing. So many cannot really embody it. We say evolving in consciousness, but the embodied living being in the embodied higher consciousness also have worked with this. Because otherwise you will have your new expanded state anchored in an old identity. And that will say that even if you have, this consciousness state, your physical 3D life still sucks. Yeah, there's no abundance and flow there. It's stagnation. So something is not, like in totality. So this is like bringing in the totality. Yeah. Okay. So just to say, so like if we could borrow that or see from that, how could that be? So your homework, still continuing to dive, like deeper, is two parts. And this is, you're going to dive deeper, continue working with your identities, with your earth families. And it's also how you're entering, I said, not only this room, it's also how you're entering, how you study, how you do your inner work, how you do your spiritual work, how you do your soul work, how you really coming into the room. I mean, like the identity you're bringing in. So we can say, as I shared before, that we can go in to room from that place of identity that I don't matter, or I'm not good enough, or whatever is playing out from the different identities, and then do the work. But when we do the work here, and this is also when we are bringing the maturity in, the soulful spiritual maturity is that you decide first. You decide first that you matter, that you are enough, more than enough, that you are, that you can do it, that you can make it. That you, whatever it is that you're having and holding on to your identity, you decide first. If that is your identity, say that I'm not worthy. So you decide first, I am worthy. And then you do the work. It's totally different things. So when many are looping in the same like consciousness field, not really embodying and expanding, really not, like deepening in the work and live it in the 3D world, in the physical world, they have not decided this first. So they're coming into the work, they're coming into this room. This is also why it's a mastermind, from that place of identity, from that place of, and allowing it to be, and do the work from that. So that subconscious will always play out. So it will be very difficult to anchor it in and embodying it in your beingness, in your body. So it's not that the work will get you to feel better, to make you matter, to make you be perfect or good enough or this or that. It's not. It's you that decide this. This is very important. Do you understand the difference? Is that when you come in with you, it's very different. That I know I have created an identity that I'm not good enough or I don't matter. But I can decide not to enter every room from and through that identity. And I can decide that I do matter, that I am worthy, that I am whatever it is. And I do the work from there. It's not going to be, like a fix like that. We say it's instant shift, it is. But we need to bring it here into this world, you see. And then we can work and release that. We cannot release that identity if we have not decided. We cannot release the identity I am unworthy if I haven't decided for myself, if you haven't decided for yourself that you are worthy. This is very important. I hear words playing over and over. When you find yourself, shit, I've been saying this for years now or for months. Whatever it is that is coming up, I can't make it. It's not for me. It's just for anyone else. Yeah, you smile, Ingrid. Yeah, it's like you recognize yourself. Like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't be this. I can't. Whatever it is, we have something that is playing over and over. That's your identity. And you have not decided to detach from it. So you go into the room, whatever room it is, you come in here through that lens, through that identity, that I can't make it. So everything you hear sounds very good, but you're still in the belief, I can't make, everyone else can, but I can't make it. Yeah. And you hear all these beautiful things and you hear all these beautiful teachings or, experiencing, and you bring it in and it's, well, I don't need to do the work because I can't do it, or it's not for me, or I can't really deepen in the work because I'm not worthy. So you look through that lens, you look from that identity. So that is also why you are like not doing the work, because you're holding on to that identity. I can't. So why bother? Why putting my time in something that is not working? Now I've gone here, course after course after course, and I'm still on the same spot, and it's not working. Why bother? I love the spaces. You say, I love the fields. I love the spaces. I love, and I feel so good here. I feel so good because it's resonating with your soul and it's resonating with you. But I don't need to do the work because it doesn't help me. It doesn't assist me. It doesn't make any different change. Because you see, because it not making any difference or change, who's going to change it? Who's going to change it? Me? Everyone else? Or just saying in that I can't do it, I don't believe it, it's not for me, I don't, so this is what's playing out. So if you choose to put on this, I say lens, but it is an identity. I can. I have not experienced yet. How? But I will try. I will find out. I will explore. I'm curious. So what is it that you have said the most time? What are you saying here or sharing? Or, like, I'm not in the state I want to be, or I can't do it. It's not for me. I'm not worried. What is it? Share it in the chat, because it's kind of fun because it's not about being bad or and we can see it with a little humor and look at ourselves, so we can really embrace ourselves, because this is love. This is real self-love. So just to see, like, for me is that I don't matter. Whatever I do, I don't matter. So it doesn't really matter. I'm not in a high enough vibration. Okay. That's good. That's really good. This is yes, the old identities say, we know that. It's struggle and pain. The old identities is struggle and pain in different ways. I'm invisible. I need to heal. That's one is good. I need to heal. That's one is good. I get overwhelmed. I don't understand. Yeah. This is so good. I need to know more. I need to know more. I know that this shift with huge shifts. So it's okay. So what if you decide now? So have everyone written, Lilian Benjamin here, not belonging, not ready, still some learning. I need more experience. Yes. Okay. So you see what's really like. So when you're holding on to, I need more experience, I will never be ready because I need more experience. I do so much. I need, learn and read and experience and do, but I need more experience. I need more experience. You see, it's so exhausting, right? Need more time. Yes, need more energy. Need more energy. I'm exhausted. I'm overwhelmed. So just, to play with it a bit, you go into this room with this identity. Maybe because it's like you have internalized it. So it's not, so you go into this room and this is your lens. This is how you see. What are you absorbing? What are you taking in? What are you learning? What are you experiencing? So if you experienced it from this, I get overwhelmed, what happens? I don't want to hear. It's too much. I don't understand. It's too much. And it's very easy. Yeah. So, okay, I'm too bad, too dark, too played out so long. Yeah, that's been playing out. Need more time. I can't do this because of that. Yes. But you see, just being here will not shift that. But it doesn't matter. You can, with your direct experience with God, will not shift this if you're not deciding to shift it. You can really have your direct communion with God, with the inner divine. It will be just experiences, not embodiment, until you shift, you decide to shift. It's not said that because you have old patterns, old behaviors, old habits, things wordings you used to say, thoughts you used to think. So it's work to really, but it's not like you transform it. How can you transform that? To be embodied. How can we transform it? If this is your truth of who you are, how do you transform it? You can't. You evolve. It's an evolution, right? Yeah. You need to work. You need to really detach from it. So this is also, I think, a lot of bypassing in the spiritual communities and areas, that we work so much and just releasing and releasing, but not do this like these kind of works. So it's still playing out. So you can be in such a high community, high spiritual communities, and this is what is playing out. So this is also when the drama comes, right? Mm-hmm. Interesting. No, you decide that, what is it? Dear God, I decide to shift. Yeah, you can pray to shift, but there will be no, it would just be a prayer. Can you assist me in shifting? What you need to decide, you already are, is the answer. Okay. So just, like, not like I need to shift to this view. What if you borrowed another? Because I want to play with this. What if you borrowed not another one here? You can do that too if you find that's enough. Oh, that's funny. I'm going from being overwhelmed to not worthy. No, but what if you borrowed another identity? that that what could that be? What could that be? To play. What would you receive then? What could that be? You can just choose one, and we play with this because I want it to be playful, so we don't come into these self-destructive patterns. It's like, what can we play with? You can choose whatever you want. How would you enter? How would you be here in this room if this was your identity? What is that then? My envisioned identity. What is that? Yeah. So what if you come in here like you decide, I'm worthy and I can. How will you receive things? How will you work for this? I'm confident as AF. Okay, choose one. Choose one. It's more easy. Otherwise it get too distant from you, too far up. Because that is like who you are becoming, and you can't really be, it's like a gap. But here, I'm confident. Say, I'm confident. I'm coming into the room in confidence. How are you sitting? How are you receiving? If you're coming into the room and you are confident, you're in your power. I mean, this is really work of power, right? The true power. Yeah. So you're coming into the room, this room or another room, and you're confident. How do you walk? How do you sit here? How do you receive? What do you share? So you decide. Yeah. So you choose to be Pippi. She's confident and she's very curious and playful and, like open. And she don't know. She has no way, she has no said, because it's like we want to go from one identity to another. We want to go from the one that is very unsecure to the one that is confident, right? But that could also be like another identity. If you be like Pippi, you don't know. You don't know the future. You just want to experience and to have fun, right? Yeah, and do you things that you love. And don't matter what people say, because you can. Just find a way. Yeah, and that is totally different from I can't do it and I'm overwhelmed. What would Pippi say if there was something new? Pippi Longstocking. Uh, she said, I have never done this before. I must be good at it. Let's try. Let's do it. That's like her mantra. So if she was on the other side, what would she have done? Said, we can't really see her. No, because she just is. Okay, so just play with this. Play with this. Yeah, it's funny. It disappears. Yeah, because it's dissolves. You detach from it. When you play, you be open. It's easier to detach from that identity you've been holding on to. Yeah. So this is, I want you to play because this, I believe that's like a beautiful way of doing this work. So we don't come into, good or bad or why am I not here that I wanted to be. So, yeah. Okay. So you do the work, the identity work, and you decide that you matter, that you're enough, that you're confident, that you are curious, that you can do it. You decide, and from that place, you do the work. Okay. And I want you to go back to look at your family lineage. And again, look, like put the pieces together, not just a summary, but really the pieces together, how you got here, this miracle of you, all of these events. And so from, to care about your story, when you're really caring about, this was I was opening today with, your story, it's also like, it's kind of wild what you will find, not just a story. Like shit, if my grandfather was on that boat that was bombed and exploded, I wouldn't be here. And not my father either. And how would their life be, and my grandmother? And knowing it will really also see that you are really chosen to be here. Not just that I said yes and volunteer to be here. Like I'm sent in, we can say I'm sent in to be, but you're chosen to be here. You're really chosen to be here, and you have and hold an important mission. So I think this is a very important piece, bringing peace also to everything that is left, but really see these pieces and that you are chosen. I mean, so many of you have played these miracle events that has happened for you to be here in this divinely orchestration. And when we know that, we can really bring that in and start living in alignment with the new identity. Because you will see how many identities you have created. And because just a few millimeters off track can bring us to a whole other path. And to really dive deeper in here takes really commitment and devotion. So this is like you sit here now, you have decided something to bring everything in, and from like a new identity, we borrow it and experience how you really now moving on. And you can see it like, here you are. This is the moment where you can really start painting the rest of your life. And you paint it yourself, right? You create it yourself. And now you don't need any evidence that you can. The realizations I've done is that from the past is also like we want, and we continue when we want to have validation, we continue to have want evidence that we can, or that we are good enough, whatever it is playing out. So we are continuing from that identity. So we're continuing to searching for validation. And now we can stop. And you know that now you have all the evidence. You don't need evidence that you can create the rest of your life. You have evidence that you could. This is a really, really important milestone. And if you're really dropping into that core identity, there's a core identity that's playing out like in all identities. So we're dropping deep into that you matter, or whatever your core identity is, that you are important. And as you're dropping, not only with your head you see, but with your heart, with your soul, with all of your systems. And this is how we are deepening into our personal power. And that will strengthen yourself, strengthen you also now when you're really, when things go wrong, something happens that you don't want, or in life. This is also where you really can stand strong in your power. You don't need to see it with an eyes from an old identity. You can really deepen here and strengthen your power. This is also how you show your self-love. This is self-love. I say this is self-love. So from now here, we can build. But it's a bit deep diving first. And really allowing yourself who you want to be. But before we really can create that, you need to detach from the old identities. Otherwise, that will just be a dream. That will just be something that you run away to because you're not really in peace and harmony and grateful with all that is. Okay, yeah. And when you're really solid in your identity, you will know your answers on your own questions will also be really solid. So sometimes when we are, and calling in things, we want things in our life. We want to find things, we want to attract in things, we want to manifest the right aligned things with our identity, the life that we want. And we don't want to attract in what is not aligned. Now I'm talking about the new identity. Yeah. So when we are really dropping and detaching, I mean, there's so many attachment to all of these identities. And when we are dropping it and opening the view that we don't know if this is a new, if there's another old one coming up, in that matter. So if we see it, I say we play with it, if we bring it on to like we are curious, and that we don't need to be validated, we don't need any validation from the outside. So we stay in the moment, like we stay in curious in life. We want to experience the experience, to see something new, that we are open and we don't know. And in our new identity, in my new identity, I don't need any validation. We don't need a validation. And when we have stopped needing validation, we become open. This is also when we can deepen. Otherwise, we are conscious or unconscious, just searching for validation to our identity. And this is how we evolve. This is really how we evolve, to be curious, to be open, and to receive. We don't know. We don't know, and something we have evolved into something new. Like little children, or not so little, maybe it's us also, we say to someone, don't treat me like a child. I'm a grown up now. I don't want that. When we, and of course it will be, what you say, reactions from the outside. So this is so much about deciding who you are, not who you're going to become, who you are now and what you stand for. Stand up for what you stand for. This is also, I mean, our mission is also what we stand for. This is really, really, really important. And many people will say, you know, and outside we have experienced that when we have shifted identity and changed, evolved, that we are, you know, becoming strangers or changed. If we say no, if we that's triggering us when others say that we're changed, there's something that we really, really have not embodied yet or want to cling on to that's not detached. Otherwise, we say thank you. If someone said you're changed, say thank you. So the work now is also holding space for ourselves, right? Standing up for ourselves, holding space for ourselves in that way. And to come to that place that I'm so grateful, really true gratefulness, and anchoring our gratitude in all our choices. And not saying it would be better if I didn't have that identity, if I have lived with identity that I did matter, because I don't know. We cannot know, so we don't even need to go there. So that is just to run away, to flee from something, not deepen into that. So we're not putting things on pedestal, things that we could have had if it's been in this way, or that we say, I want to be this instead of that. So we really start to finding out how life is by not clinging on to or attached to any identity. And the identity is what creates everything. So the most important here with this work is, as I said, not knowing who you are becoming is about no longer need to be validated or to validate the truth of who we have been or who we believe we are. It's not about deciding who we are want to be or going to be. When I have released this one, I can be that one. What is most important here and now is actually to see the truth in the identity that you have had. Not feeling that is bad, not feeling that is wrong. So if you look and see that my identity, can just say what you have written up here. My identity was to be, my identity is to be overwhelmed. Someone, I could take everything here, is to be need to experience more, need to be more, not good enough, not knowing enough. Yeah. So it's not to just, you know, detach from that, is to also realize the truth in that identity. Because you have created a life that you always needed to know more. You have the truth in that you are overwhelmed. That's what you've been created. Yeah. So by creating our identity, we have created the outcome, we can say, in our life. So it's also important to us to embrace that and see the truth in that. If I created an identity that I can't, so I look at my life and see everything I wanted to do or be, but I didn't because I couldn't. And then that identity became truth. It's not true, but I made it true. So it's also very important to look at that, to see, to bring in that, to embrace it. It's not that you are bad. It's not that you have done anything wrong. It's just to say, okay, this is the identity. So I created my life through that lens, but this is also the outcome. This is also what I created for myself. This is very important. Can you see the importance in this, to really allow yourself to, not to say I'm bad. It's not, have nothing to do with it, but just it's more like an objective view. Okay, of course, because if I have the identity of, say here, I need to know more. And what's under that, I'm not enough. I don't know enough. I'm not enough. So the feeling of always, have the feeling of not enough. I need to know more, because when I know more, I'm good. When I know more, I can do things. When I know more, I can become successful. When I know more, I can become abundant or wealthy or happy. When I know more, I can. You see, so I'm invincible or invisible. Invisible, yeah, yeah. because it could also be an identity. I'm invincible. I always win. I can have it all. But that also could be very much from fear. It's not like who we want to become. So yes, I need to heal. I'm invisible. I need to heal. So I can't do that because I need to heal. I can't be the teacher I am. I can't be the leader I am. I can't be the way shower I am because I need to heal. I can't be, the one on the big stages because I need to heal first. I need to heal first. I need to heal first. This, you see, so much. I'm not in enough high vibration. No, I come in here. I need to be in higher vibration before I can do this. I need to be in higher vibration before I can love, or to receive love, or before I can do my thing, or before I can whatever. You see? And as we look at it, okay, yes, I do. I do need to be in a higher vibration for things to happen, for my life to shift. But it's not bad where I am. It's perfect. It's beautiful where I am. And you see, so that identity I've created, but also it's become your truth. The outcome, the effects in your life. It's not that you're bad. It's not that you have done anything wrong. Not at all. But you really create your own outcomes. This is the loop. So even though you expand in a higher vibration, it will not last. It will not last. It will not be anchored. It will not be embodied, because the identity is, I need to be in a higher vibration. So whatever you do, how much you do expand, it's not enough. So that's also the results in the life. I don't say that you don't have a good life with all this, but this is like what is leading you, what is guiding you. So this is also how you really create your own life. So to stop here, not just I need to detach from the identities, but this is true. If I go around with a belief, with that identity that I do not matter, then that becomes the truth. I do not matter for myself. And then also I do not matter for others. So I attracted in people in my life that I didn't matter for. So it was true. I don't say I don't as a being matter, because I do. But that was what I actually attracted in my life from that identity. So I saw the truth in that. It's not true that I don't matter, but it was true from the belief. Can you see the difference here and how important it is to really also see what I have chosen? And we have the powers to choose something differently, but to do it in this mature way. Because if I looked at this, my journey, from the eyes that I don't matter, it would just be heavy. It would just be painful. And I don't know how much I have cried and cried and cried because I was looping in the same frequency, in the same pain as I was, like bring it in over and over and over again. No matter what I did, it was still the same. But if I can really look at it from a mature way, wow, have I created this in my life? I mean, we can look at it with wonders. Wow, have I created this in my life? And just, you see, knowing that, have I created this stagnation in my life? It takes a lot of energy to create so much stagnation in a life. It does. It does, as creation is always, right? So we have like worked against the divine laws. So it takes a lot of energy. So if I take all of this energy and look at it, wow. And it's not true. I can decide. And I do the work from the eyes and the feeling, the sense that I do matter. And then I can also look at myself with in compassion and love and embrace and detach from it, because I really didn't want to be there. I really want to change. And then I become a little bit angry. It comes a little bit fire. The rebellion comes forward. No more. No more. No more of this game. This is a game too. But I also needed to really decide not just to flee to something else that was in a moment felt better, but have the power of really looking at it, detach from it, see it with clear eyes clearly, let go of it, and be curious. Not like I've disempowered myself, so now I must be, to make it the polarity, to go to the other way. Now I must be the strongest one. No, not about that, but to be open, to experience life and see what happens, or what happens and feels inside. So the identity, to shift our reality, to change our reality, we cannot do it with only energetic work. Soul work, we need to shift. We need to decide these things first. It just is. So if I still have these beliefs, these identities going on, holding on to them, I will never get somewhere. I would just create a lot of illusions. So we look at the fact. So before we go in to what's coming next, we don't need to worry about that now. And that we enter everything from what's here, what's coming, with a very open-hearted curiosity. Because we tended to want to go to something that feels better, something that we want to become. And if we see now is to be curious about what we are trying in our life to validate. That we are trying to validate the identities. So the question is, when we find out, when we see in truth what we actually created, ask, do we really want to keep this identity? And then the work starts when we start to invalidate that, to see it with the new eyes. Is this why I say to borrow other identities? So it's also like, yeah, I can stop there. I can take this later. Okay. Okay. So how are you doing? Are you with me? How are you feeling? Yeah, you bring it in. Yeah. So anyone wants to share something or wants to, or have a question? Are you excited? You can share with in the chat, or you can share if you want to share with your voice. Are you excited for the work to dive deeper in? Because you really see maybe, yeah, the expansion that to come, but to have that to be anchored and embodied, this is the work to be doing. Yeah. Yeah, it is very expansive. Yeah, I cannot be a healer as I needed to be ready first with my own healing. That's a good one. Yeah, I need to heal first. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you see. So when we find these things, to have a mature, what you say, how we do the work, it's not to go into this better, lesser, I'm bad, it would be better if, is to really be mature, and also to, we can grieve, we can be sad, but we don't pity ourselves. We have created it. So it's a very big difference, you see, to feel sorry for ourselves, to stay in the loop of pain, to stay in the loop of struggle because we're not good enough. We continue, oh, I was so bad. This is my behaviors. This is what I've been created. Oh, poor me, or, pity myself. I've created this life. I'm powerful, you're a creator, but we can choose what we want to create. We can see we created misery, or we can create, like beautiful abundance, beauty. So to be mature and to really, we can grieve what has been, what has not been, what could have been. Do that. But not fall into that pity yourself loop or that pain, self-destructive. Yes, Birgitta, welcome.
Yes, hello everyone. Thank you, Camilla. I love this. I love this work really because it's. This is also a missing key for the soul embodiment and to reach. So I've been sitting here now and writing down all the identities that have surfaced, and I will also uh, like. Um, view them from my identities, that what is still active, what is not active anymore. I can writing this down, it opens so much joy and gratitude too, because I have also shifted so much during when I said yes to my soul path. I have released so much. Yes, I just want to tell a little story that I was like this. I wanted to be perfect. This was my identity, to be perfect. And in the beginning of my journey, I became so upset when I was spotted to have done something wrong. And I was so angry. I was so angry, and I tried to cover this up and to make a story so it would be perfect. And I was angry because I was also mirrored that, but now you are lying. No, I'm not lying. I have done everything perfect. And it was such a strong identity in my body that it was like if someone finds out that I have not done it perfect, I would get extinct. So I had to defend this. And once in a retreat, um, and Camilla, she was just showering me with love, and she told me she loved me because I was perfect, and she loved me very much. I was so angry, and I resisted so much, and I went into the corner of the room trying to escape love. And then finally, I could just surrender into this. That was a very important breakthrough for me, and also like my identity, created identity, is so strong, so strong, really showing up there. So this I wanted to share. So thank you.
Beautiful, Birgitta. I remember that.
Yes.
And it was really also that you did not want to receive love. No, so it was actually, the identity was also from fear.
Yes.
It was a very beautiful moment,
Yes.
that breakthrough when you came. Yeah. Thank you for sharing.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mm.
And anyone else that want to share something, or write it in the chat. Yeah, you see, it's deep work. Yeah, what have the identities created in my life? Beautiful. It's really beautiful to see from those eyes. And these identities that you have created, and if they're still active, you see them also either not bringing out your soul work, or when there are things that you want to do and you feel fear or don't do. This is also where you see these identities, the core, that they're still so strong. So it's also so important to do this work now, as you are the catalyst for others. Can you, maybe you can't share. Can you share, Ellie, what you mean, what you shared?
I
Because
can try.
I know that you have Johannes there.
Johannes is here. Yes. Now, but when you said that, and I know that I need to raise my vibration to be able to have the life that I actually want. And I cannot, when you say to me that it's not better or lesser the life that I have to the life that I want, I just can't feel that.
No,
I think it's better to have that life. Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, because
Mm.
that's the identity you're holding. That's the truth. So I would
Mm.
say they really, your core identities are really internalized as your truth.
Mm.
You can know it here, you might see it here, yeah, but you cannot feel it because you say, no, that's not true. This is true.
No.
Because your identity have made up a truth.
Mm.
somewhere, you know, like a protection for something. But that's your truth. So I don't, so many of you it might be the same, that you don't feel it. You don't feel the true you don't see that this is not true because you see it's true. Because that's your truth. Yeah. So what is happening now?
With me?
Yeah.
Well, it's the sadness coming up.
Yeah.
I feel really sad.
Yeah. So somewhere there's an entrance that will crack finally this truth, this non-truth, but what you believe is your truth, because the identity, then you need to go into what is an identity. That's a belief, a truth of who you are, that you have created for some reasons, and you can see it in your, you know, like you want validation for something. Yeah. So if sadness, if that's something like unlocking, so you get entrance into some feelings. And when you look at, and in your view with everything I've shared, even if you don't feel it, how do you see it? Is it still your truth with your mind?
No, because when you said it now, when you just took my example, there was an instant trigger, and then I know that, okay, here's something.
Yeah.
So now I've allowed that defense to drop, getting into the true emotions, and actually allowing my system to realize that this is not true. This has just been something that I've been building up, and that I've told myself that this is the truth. So it's actually not.
No, and that's also come from fear. I mean, we are very creative in this stuff, right? That hinder us to be live in love. Yeah. So you can also see we're very creative. We create a lot of illusions and untruths and spend in that. But that's like a protection for something. It's a protection for something. So it's not bad or wrong, it's a protection for something. So good. So continue to work and see what's happening, what's opening. Is it not like this is truth and that's not truth? It could be. Part of it could really be true in the higher truth as well. So that's the exploration. It's not just going from one side to the other, because in your identities, there also are truths. Yeah. So this is very important. So it's not like I need to detach from that and be this. No, because that's maybe non-truth too. So it's for
Yes.
you, just that this is not true, that decide and that you're open to investigate and explore. Because it's also like, is it okay if I take a little moment? Yeah. Because like you say, I need to heal before I can become a healer. Of course, in some, that is true. Because you also need to heal. But to always need to heal more and more and more, that is not true. So I say in many of these identities, there's also some truth. Because it's really, really wounded, you cannot work as a healer. You can work as a healer, of course, but the healing you're bringing forth is not so high quality. And it will not make any spaces for others to heal in. So in that, it is also some truth, but not to keep. To keep hindering us not doing, not being, not living, because this is like a filter from life. Yeah. Okay, so it is time to close for today. And thank you for this massive, massive session. And please share your takeaways, your own reflection, what is coming up for you, and do that as soon as you can. When you have it, alive, you can now, if you don't have time to write, you can take a voice memo and record, and then you can post it after. Yeah, that is a good one. Identities versus self-sabotage. We use identities to self-sabotage. And we deepen into that, and please share, and we continuing the work, and we can continue whatever you work. So from tomorrow 9 a.m. I'm available for you in our Telegram thread. Thank you deeply for today. So much love. Bye everyone.